Coming up on today's show,
Activision mess around with Black Ops 4 as usual.
I caught up with Xbox to talk about their latest changes with Game Pass.
And Ninja took 2 days off and lost
40,000 subscribers?
Welcome to Flaktest Gaming's The Weekly Patch. I'm Jacob, Lord Mantle Corelli.
I'm Pete, Frequency, Corelli. Just move past it. It's round 7, it's CSGO round, that match between Ursula, Frayne and Mount Lawley coming up a little bit later, as well as a catch up with Mitch Conky Concannon, Gfinity Elite Series caster extraordinaire. But now, the top 3 things that gamers need to know this week, Jake.
Pete, it's been E3. So this morning when we sat down to work out our headlines, we had heaps to pick through.
Oh man, how do you even just... You can't.
What you do is you look at which ones make you the most mad, and you just talk about those.
Or the most happy, because we're going to be talking about those as well.
But let's get angry first.
All right, go for it.
Activision. No. What are you doing? Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They're getting their nose out of joint because I don't think they're making enough money from their franchise. Activision clearly are very poor at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've got no money left. So they said, you know what we'll do? We're going to get Black Ops 4 and we're going to make it so that if you want to play the full game, you essentially need to buy it twice.
Yeah, so what we mean by the full game is that what they've gone and done, and this isn't unusual for Activision because they've done it before.
Doesn't mean it's okay.
I know. Is that they've actually locked all of their DLC content behind a season pass.
Right.
It's called Black Ops Pass.
It's got a nice name at least.
Catchy, original, nice work.
I wonder what game that's for.
12 multiplayer maps, 4 zombies maps. I'm a little bit disappointed because for me, the zombies maps are the reasons why I actually play these games.
Well, we've put hours and hours and hours into zombies.
Yeah.
And now, if you want to do that, that'll be a DLC pass, please.
Yeah, far out, mate. And it's going to cost you a little bit as well. I mean, you're right, almost double the amount of what you expect to actually pay for just the basic game.
That's right. We worked it out. So it's going to, if you want the full edition of what I'm calling the full edition, it's about $132 now.
Yeah. So this is getting the original game first, and also getting the Black Ops season pass.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, good news is they're probably not going to do that to the Battle Royale mode because everyone wants to play Battle Royale. Yeah,
well, that's been confirmed, right? Battle Royale will be a part of whatever edition that you decide to buy. But if you do buy the Black Ops special, the season pass, you'll get yourself 4 exclusive skins for the Battle Royale mode.
Because what I need in my life is more Battle Royale games.
Absolutely you do.
But
you got to be honest, like, this will be a selling point for people. You know, Battle Royale is, as you mentioned off camera before we started doing this, it's meta right now.
It is. It's expected.
Yeah.
It's tired. And it's not new.
It's unusual considering that every other AAA publisher came out during E3 and said, we're actually going to be just charging you for cosmetics. Okay, which you're actually going to be able to earn in the game if you want to just grind.
Well, because we've been screaming for this as gamers. It's like, just look, you could raise the price of all your games by $10, I don't care. But don't make me have to unlock stuff randomly and pay for it.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, even when you've got a company like EA, who are notorious for being the ones that charge you for pay to win, essentially, going that we're not going to do that, guys. We know we stuffed up with Battlefront, our Star Wars game, Battlefront 2. We're not going to do that. All we're going to do is charge you for cosmetics if you want them with Battlefield 5. Right? Which
is like the 7th Battlefield game. Just on EA, do you know that they actually have a patent for a technology which matches you against people with the guns you don't have?
Yeah.
So let's say someone has like the really powerful blaster. They've patented, they say they're not using it. We believe you, EA, of course. If someone kills you with a gun, you might match it against them continuously if it's a special gun.
Yeah.
So you're like, I really got to buy that gun.
I remember this news coming out a couple of months ago and thinking to myself, what are you doing?
I mean, great idea, business-wise.
They've shelved it, but as you mentioned, we'll see. Hey, I had a great chat with the guy who basically runs Xbox for Asia. We're talking about, he oversees the releases of the games, he oversees marketing, sales, everything. His name is Jeremy Hinton. His official title is Xbox Category Lead, and we were lucky enough to actually catch up with him. And he mentioned a couple of things that we wanted him to confirm or deny. One thing is, yes, they are actually working on the architecture as we speak for a brand new Xbox console.
Awesome.
But this is, for me, the thing that is going to completely change the game with regards to publishers and developers, and in particular console, I'm going to call them outputters, like PlayStation and that, moving away from, hey, we're just going to charge you per game, to a more Netflix-style streaming service. Right? Game Pass, which is actually out and about at the moment, costs you about $11 a month. They're actually going to be adding all of their first-party IPs on launch to Game Pass.
So not like the crappy off titles that they just bundle in.
No.
So we're talking when Halo Infinite comes out.
When Halo Infinite comes out, when Gears 5 comes out, when they do their remasters like Battletoads that they announced over E3 as well, more Sea of Thieves stuff. If you actually own Game Pass for your $11 a month, you're going to get those as part of Game Pass, their subscription service, on launch day.
So no CDs, no DVDs.
No.
You know who's going to be the most upset about this?
Who?
EB Games.
Yeah,
there's no trade-in anymore.
I know, no trade-in.
They can't give you $3 for your game you bought for $90 3 days ago.
Sorry, guys.
Would you like to buy a scratch protection insurance, Pete?
No, thank you.
No, don't need it.
So look, it's fabulous. I would much rather pay $11 a month for a subscription service, right? Which is going to cost me what over the course of the $120 odd.
It's not much,
right? It's not much. When I'm probably going to end up having to pay $120 for Halo Infinite
game,
right?
So you're going to get your die-hard fans who are not going to do that, because you're not going to get special edition like your collectibles and the actual like physical stuff anymore.
But you can still buy those.
You can still buy them, but for me, I'll play a game till it's done, and that's it. I won't touch it again.
Yeah.
And so at home for my consoles, I have piles of game discs.
Yeah.
That I won't take to EB because I want more than $3 for my game.
Yeah, agreed. And you look at a company like Blizzard, for example. With Overwatch, the majority of their sales happen digitally,
absolutely,
right?
Yep.
But they still release, amazing statues and statuettes and stuff of their characters and amazing merchandise that you can just buy. You don't have to buy them paired with the game.
Maybe we'll see publishers going to that. Yeah. So if you want something cool from Halo, you don't have to buy the edition with the game. You can just buy the Master Chief statuette.
I like it. Keep it coming. Hey, Ninja, this is spectacular.
I mean, I'm really jealous of what happened in a way, because I would kill for that to happen to us.
I would kill for the amount of subscribers that he lost.
Right, so Ninja took 2 days off. He went to E3. No, where did he go?
E3.
He went to E3.
Yep. So E3, Fortnite, Epic Games and Fortnite held a Pro-Am where they got a whole heap of pro streamers to get together with a whole heap of amateur streamers, people like your Drakes and your Marshmallows and your NBA players, stuff like that.
Yep.
Really big celebrities who dabble every now and again. They held a Pro-Am in front of a capacity crowd in a massive stadium for a couple of days, which, by the way, Ninja and Marshmallow actually won.
They won a few $1 million. Was it $1 million?
$1 million
for their charity.
Yep. So well done, guys. But yes, he was away from his stream. He was still tweeting and all that sort of stuff on Instagram, everything, but he was away from his consistent daily stream for 2 days. And he lost 40,000 subscribers.
40,000 out of 250,000 is a big chunk. That's why I said I'd be happy to lose 40,000 subs if we had 40,000 subs to lose.
Well, he's the biggest social media star in the world, recently overtaking Cristiano Ronaldo, who's playing currently for Portugal. In fact, did a hat-trick overnight, 3-3 against Spain in the World Cup. So, he overtaken him. He's obviously the #1 streamer, right, in the world for Twitch and everything else that you can think of. So I think what's actually happened is, because you've got 3 different ways of subscribing. Okay, you can subscribe on a recurring monthly basis. You can subscribe for 3 or 6 months, and you can also subscribe in a way that makes you have to actually go and physically resubscribe every month. I think what's happened is those 40,000 people are the ones that are just month by month subscribers.
It's come up at that point.
It's come up at that point.
Right.
He's not there. And all of a sudden, it's like they've come out of a trance and woken up and gone,
light.
Whoa, I'll go and have a look at some other streamers because Ninja's not here, and maybe found somebody else.
Right.
Either that, or they've just gone, he's not here, I'm just not going to resubscribe.
I just don't know what to do with my life anymore.
So, it's incredible, but it also goes to show you, for those of you watching that are part of the high school community who want to take yourselves into the professional streaming circuit, this is the work that you actually have to put in. It's consistency, it's quality content, all that sort of stuff. It is demanding. It might be cool to see all I do is I get paid to play
video
games.
yeah.
But it is demanding.
Well,
so,
Ninja's streaming for hours every single day.
Absolutely.
It's more hours than working a full-time job.
Yeah, you're going to make hay while the sun shines. Absolutely. So, I mean, $5, $10, $25 are 3 different tiers of subscription. So, you know, you throw that into still the 210,000 subscribers he's got, you're still making a lot of money, mate. But well done.
Look, speaking of streamers, someone who's up and coming in the streaming world is Conky.
Yes,
right?
Mitch Conky Concannon.
You're going to be chatting to him. I think you spoke to him last week.
Yeah, I did.
You had a chance to catch up with him and talk to him about what it takes to actually get to that next level of streaming and be recognised in streaming and casting. Right?
Yeah, as a pro caster, so he is one of the casters for us. He's also a Gfinity Elite Series caster as well. He does it for CSGO. He joins us for Rocket League every now and again, but will be joining us for CSGO today as well. You'll see him in the feature match, but yes, I did catch up with him to have a chat about what it takes to become a pro caster in Australia and also to talk about the Gfinity Elite Series.
Something that I want to talking about me, rocking on beat, talking about walking on my own 2 feet. Oh, you got something that I want to talking about me, rocking on beat, talking about walking on my own 2 feet.
Welcome guys, it's Pete here from the Flaktest gaming team, and with me a very special guest who you've seen on the Flaktest weekly patch casting our CSGO matches for the featured match of the week. Mitch Conky Concannon, that's 3 Ys by the way, that's 3 Ys. An absolute pleasure to have you here
as
at
always, mate.
Flaktest Esports. We've got another round of CSGO coming up very soon, but we thought we'd get you on the couch for a couple of reasons. First, I want to say congratulations, because you, along with another caster that you've seen here at Flaktest, Byron Bizer Barker, thank you, the 3 Bs.
Yep.
Bizer is going to be casting Rocket League for Gfinity Elite Series, which launches, or has launched, and you're going to be casting CSGO.
Correct.
You guys won this off the back of a comp that was going around, which was virtually a vote for get your best casters in across the country. Tell us who we should put on the panels, who should be casting these games. You got it.
That's right, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, very full on, and I mean, there was a bit of a scramble for votes at last minute. I had a bit of a run for my money by a guy, Hazy, and he did a real good job, and I think he's actually coming with as like a sort of bonus sort of thing, but I ultimately ended up on top somehow, and it's an honour, I guess.
Well done. Well, it's an honour to have you a part of the Flaktest Esports team, because you're one of the best casters in the country when it comes to CSGO. And I want to touch on that right now, because there's a lot of high school esports students from the clubs that are registered with Flaktest across the country, and a lot of them aren't going to grow into this professional sport playing the game. A lot of them might want to actually become casters. Let's start with that. I want to know from you, what makes you different in terms of, you know, a professional caster versus someone who's just calling themselves a caster on their Facebook or Twitter or something like that?
Well, there's a few factors sort of involved, and I've always had a loud, sort of projectable voice ever since I was a child. I remember back in school, Mum said I should always do acting or something like that, but I never had the confidence. So I think one thing, you know, being able to sit in your own space, be a bit more comfortable behind the camera in your own, you know, area behind the computer or whatever, you feel a bit more comfortable sort of in that sense. But ultimately, you know, you still have thousands of people watching on the other end. So my sort of advice is not only just to be yourself, because that's the most, you know, generic thing in the book, but also to bring something extra to the table. And as we spoke about on the podcast the other day, I was wearing a suit in my own room just because why not, you know, and trying to add a bit of an extra element, and also, you know, communicating with the chat and things of that nature. I still do some professional stuff, but yeah, the casual stuff sort of comes to me so easily.
There was an interesting story behind you going to get that suit.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
was. Yeah, some random guy in the chat, he goes, "You work in insurance, you got a suit, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've got a few." He goes, "Go put one on."
Yeah, right.
So I did. And here I am. Like, I can't cast without it nowadays. It's ridiculous. So
You mentioned confidence, right? You said you were a person who struggled with confidence when you were a lot younger.
I did.
What was the turning point? What helped you build that confidence as a caster?
learning to love yourself is, again, really, really sort of generic crap that you hear on the TV and stuff. But it really is true in its own right. It's like once you really start to be a bit more comfortable with yourself, you don't really care about all the negative flack, because that's what I mean. When I started casting with a webcam, which is very out of sort of ordinary stuff, people were very negative towards that at the start, but there was a lot of positive. So it's always really hard to suppress that negative comment. You take it on board, of course, for constructive criticism, but it's also just, being confident in what you're doing, and you're like, I know that this is getting a good reception, and continuing with that. So trying to push down the negative, because people are always going to try and tear you down, and ultimately those are the people that won't succeed. It's the people that help bring you up. So I had a really good support network of friends and people in the industry and stuff as well that have really helped boost it. And just having that extra element of, at the end of the day, if you don't bring, if a commentator or a caster doesn't bring some sort of hype element to it and makes it exciting, there's no point watching it. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, people actually will opt to put on the mute button if they don't like the commentator and just watch the game, and that's not exciting in its own right. So you've got to bring something extra, bring a bit more oomph.
You mentioned like you worked on your confidence, you worked on looking at the positives, which is really great. You worked on your craft. How did you go from being the guy in your bedroom to turning that around and building on the momentum to be the one who's now going to be casting at Gfinity Elite Series?
Look, I think at the end of the day, there was the support of the people close to you is one thing. There's one special girl who really got behind me, and also over the years, having my parents sort of slowly start to understand what is actually happening. They used to.
Is that special girl your missus, or is it your mum?
No, just a lovely lady, and my mum has actually been quite supportive as of late. But it wasn't until I really moved out of home and got NBN that I was really starting to sort of build off of it. And then the friends next to me, they just kept pushing and kept going, and ultimately, just through self-funding to get to events and things like that, you meet some people, and when you really start to tap in to that, the top tier and people like from team owners know your name and stuff like that, and they come up to you at events and introduce themselves to you. It's just like, I'm just Mitch, I'm just the little caster. But that's sort of where it all started, I think, through events like PAX and IEM Sydney that got me the connections with those people, and that's led to further things now. So build your confidence, love yourself, put yourself out there. Exactly, that's right.
Take that support network, all of these great things, and I guess the other thing is get flight time under your belt.
Exactly, yeah. Huge thing. And at the end of the day, like, I'm still doing this stuff off my own back. Like, it's not like I have to, I'm not getting sent to everything just yet. I'm still funding a lot of it myself, and that's the real way I've got myself out there. So
really quickly, before we move on to Gfinity Elite Series, most people or biggest number of audience that you've casted to?
3,000, and it was a game between Tainted Minds and Greyhound, I believe. So that was an ESCA Mountain Dew Series match, and that was so random. It was probably 2,500 of them were Russian gamblers, but it doesn't matter. The numbers were still there, and it was awesome. So, yep.
Watch those loot boxes, kids. And coolest event that you've ever casted?
Okay, so the most entertaining probably so far was WPGI, which was the female league last year at UWA. It was an national level event. It was the finals, and that was my first sort of ever public event, which was amazing, as in like in person at the LAN. And casted with Jim and Esso, who Jim is doing actually the Gfinity series, and I can't wait to get it back on the desk with him. It's going to be so exciting. The dad jokes are going to be on fire.
Unreal.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so there's a bit of information about what it takes to be a professional caster, how you can set yourself apart, and how you can build on that craft. Let's talk about Gfinity Elite Series.
First of all, up Perth Ground Zero. I didn't talk too much about it last time, but here we are.
Okay, so Perth Ground Zero is going to be one of the 6 teams that are competing. There's 2 from Sydney, there's 2 from Melbourne, 1 from Brisbane, and of course this one from Perth. It's really exciting to see esports on the big stage here in Australia. Let's go back to the Challenger Series. For those of you who are just getting into the whole Gfinity Elite scene, the Challenger Series is where it came through to begin with, and it's how the current crop of teams that are going to be in the Elite Series actually found their players, right?
That's right, yeah, exactly. So they're the actual people involved at the start. There is a sort of core 5 that's teams that are already established, and then the Elite Draft was sort of brought in to allow players that sort of don't have that really high tier competitive experience in a team lineup to allow them to join that sort of team. So you notice a lot of, especially on the CSGO side, a lot of the teams actually have 8, 9, 10 players.
Yep.
And I think a lot of that is because they have to fill a 5-member team at a LAN every single weekend. There's going to be other tournaments which might overlap and stuff. So it really gives those players who really grinded that Elite Draft Series the opportunity to play on the big stage in front of, possibly tens of thousands of people on TV. Yeah. So it's really exciting.
What is it about the Gfinity Elite Series that finally puts esports on the map here in Australia?
Just the sheer, amount of effort and money and time that has gone into it. It's huge. Like, I've seen photos of the stage already. It's immaculate. And just the fact that it's going to be on national television, it's going to be one of those real first tipping points where the father-son's on the couch, the footy game might be on, it's half time, and they flick over to Channel 1 and they're going to see a bunch of gamers on TV, and it's going to be so exciting. So that's probably the biggest step in the right direction in esports in Australia.
You mentioned that free-to-air TV, so channels 10 and 1, I believe, are going to be broadcasting or have the rights to broadcast Gfinity Elite.
That's correct, yep.
There's a proper studio that's been built with a full studio audience set up, green rooms, the whole thing. Like, this is the proper professional treatment for the games, the casters, the hosts and everything, and that's right. At a Hoyt Cinema in Sydney.
Correct, yep.
Right? The other thing that I want to know is, Rocket League is going to be there, Street Fighter is going to be there. CSGO is your game.
Correct.
It's the game that you're going to be casting on.
Yep, that's right.
Who, out of the teams, are going to take it out? We've got a 7-week series ahead of us.
Look, I'm going to tip Order to be the top team, simply just because they are one of the best teams in Australia as it sits, and the other two who are sort of on the same playing field aren't actually involved in the scene as much, and I think that was maybe a conscious choice by the organisation owners too, because they might have interest in other events, things like that. Mm-hmm. So Order in raw talent sort of area probably have the best bet. But there's also some really exciting things. The Brisbane Deceptors actually have about half the team is female, which is really exciting.
Wow.
And a lot of them are really fantastic players, and I hope that will give them a real good public boost, because there's always that, clashing point of male versus female. And esports is one of those things where gender doesn't discriminate at the end of the day. Like, it does only because people are creating that false void. But this is one where it's, straight up, girls are going to be playing guys. It's really exciting.
Well, that is a really exciting thing, because, let's be realistic. Like, for sheer obvious reasons, guys can't play girls in a game of AFL.
Correct, yeah.
Right? They could sort of go away to soccer, but there is that difference in sort of physical prowess.
That's right.
But here, it's all about your reactions, reflexes, what's going on up here, all that sort of stuff. So it breaks new ground in that sense.
Yeah, that's right. So it's the first tournament where this is actually going to be happening in that sense. So that's really exciting. And aside from that, it's, sort of the other 5 teams are very sort of much like top tier as well. So it's going to bring a lot of hype and a lot of good competition, and really look forward to seeing how Ground Zero is going to go as well.
One more question before I let you go.
Yep, sure.
Who is the MVP of the CSGO tournament?
Ooh, okay. I'm going to say Liaz. Liaz from Order, probably the best player in Australia. One that has the capacity to be one of the best players in the world, I believe. So I really hope to see some good results from him.
Unreal. Well, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the couch. Thank you so much. And thanks for being a part of Flaktest Esports as well, and casting for us in CSGO. We are blessed to have you. And all the best, not just with Perth Ground Zero, who you're a part of, but also, of course, with Gfinity Elite Series. It's very exciting for you.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure as always. Cheers, mate.
Hello, welcome to round 7 of the Flaktest Weekly Patch and the feature match of the week. My name is Pete Frequency Corelli, joined in commentary today for CSGO. And when I say joined in commentary, it's more like thank the good Lord you're here, because I've never cast a CSGO before, but you, mate, you know all about this. It is Mount Lawley taking on Ursula Frayne for this week's feature match of the week at twitch.tv/Flaktest, which you're watching right now. And my pleasure to introduce you to Mitch Conky, that's with 3 Ys, Concannon. So good to have you along.
Oh, always, mate. Pleasure.
Now, mates, just really quickly, let's have a quick look at some of the info that we've got from these teams. You've had a quick look at the match. We've got Ursula Frayne's info here. Thank you so much for sending it through, some bits and pieces. What are you already taking away from this information as we move into this match?
So a lot of them seem to be quite new players. Like, they've been playing around for a little while, but not so much at a higher level. So it's going to be really interesting to see sort of how they fit into the roles of a competitive lineup. So we've obviously got Hoopin here, who's going to be the AWPer, and the IGL of Spaz. So it'll be interesting to see where the other two in Matt J, and I don't actually think we've got the other guy's name, but and also West will fill into the position. So yeah, it'll be really entertaining to see.
Unreal. So we're going to get to the match in just a moment. Before we do, tomorrow on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube, you're going to see round 7 of our weekly TV show where we bring you news and coverage and all sorts of stuff, the Flaktest Weekly Patch. It is also the show where you and I catch up on this very couch to actually talk about what it takes to become a procaster in the scene.
That's right.
And also to talk about Gfinity Elite Series, which you're going to be appearing on the desk very soon to cast CSGO for them as well. So looking forward to that. Make sure you're across all of that stuff. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time. That'll be 2 o'clock if you're on the East Coast and somewhere in between if you're in South Australia or the Northern Territory. Shall we get to the match?
We should get into it right now.
Let's do this. We're going to cut across and get stuck into this, and I will leave you to it, my good sir. Take it away.
Okay, let's engage the glasses. Looks like everyone is getting ready. Live on 3, and we will be moving into it now. So what are we dealing with the sides on the start? Okay, so Ursula Frayne will be starting on the counter-terrorist side. And speaking of what we've got to be picked up at the start, it looks like Flash will be picking up that kit and the smoke grenade to go along with it. And aside from that, looks like not really too much else to speak of. It looks like we'll just have Mount Lawley moving on in with the Glock train, and we'll have to see where they choose to take this, boosting up. Playing it nice and passive to start us off. So the bomb will slowly be making its way towards boost now. Looks like Alex waiting nice and patiently back towards quad. No aggression coming in from the CT side yet. And they are moving around a little bit. Full mid control has been given up, but why always me? Sort of still spotting towards highway, but it looks like it ultimately will be an A take eventually. But still being very patient. I'm impressed. Usually we see some real early aggression on the terror side of Pistol on Cash, but nothing so far.
Just for people who are watching who aren't familiar with CSGO, give us a rundown of the aim of what's going on here.
Okay, so ultimately it will be the counter-terrorist side trying to defend from the terrorists, who will be aggressive onto the A-bomb site, which we're actually going to be seeing now. So Spaz and West will be there to pick up the first. Hoopin, will find another, but Haunter and Wiley's Meat are able to trade the frags relatively effectively here, but Hoopin finds another, and all of a sudden it's all onto Haunter in a 1-on-3 situation, and Spaz, a nice little shot over towards Truck there, will pick him up, and that is the first round found by Mount Lawley. So effectively, as we were saying, Pete, it is a elimination sort of base game. Obviously, it's an attacking and a defending side, so we can see Mount Lawley there on the attacking side to start us off, and they obviously are going up against Ursula Frayne, who will be defending the according bomb sites, and it's either take out the enemy team or plant and have the bomb detonate.
And really good to see, great maintenance on their knives here, just making sure they keep them sharp as well.
As always, got to show them off. Man, the amount of money people waste on skins, including myself. Oh boy. Okay, so slowing it down again. Looks like Mount Lawley, after picking up that first round, will be moving towards, but Alex, nice shot from him to start us off. Matt J will be taken down with that deagle. And it still looks like it will be a slow sort of B take, but they are rotating their way out now. Spaz spotting Alex towards the white box there on the highway. Alex, though, doing some damage. But, still a relatively healthy side of Ursula Frayne. We do have the advantage on the side of Mount Lawley Jack will pick up one as well.
Are the two sides just being cautious here?
I think so. It's either overcautiousness or overconfidence, and Why Always Me actually manages to find two here. Great little defense over towards the B bomb side here, and the bomb actually has been dropped on the side as well. This round, the classic Australian CS fashion, the horseback is what actually may win it unless Hoopin can pull off something good, but Alex That's a second nice Deagle frag for him, and why always me with the 3K hold from that B-bomb site. Very, very well done by Mount Lawley to bring themselves back into this game.
Just a quick apology there to our viewers. We did indeed have the two sides wrong way around in terms of their names. So as you can see, Mount Lawley CS go to the left of your screen in blue and Ursula Frayne to the right of your screen in yellow. And that also means we do have a tied game at 1.
It's all right. These things happen. When I was in Taipei recently, they had the wrong players' faces with the webcams on the wrong names. And because of the language barrier, we couldn't translate it to them saying, like, the wrong players, and it just didn't work. So eventually they just turned the webcams up. So that was interesting.
Mount Lawley with a massive lead. They haven't spent much money just yet.
Yeah,
as well.
So keeping up the dollar here on the CT side, they've got a Galil, UMP, and a Famis. They have managed to recover, while me picked up the AK from the previous round. But Ursula Frayne will be fully ecoing into this one. They will be looking to buy into the 4th. But again, yeah, very, very slow sort of CS. We're seeing, playing it nice and passive, not wanting to give up any early picks.
How important is your economy throughout the series of these matches?
Honestly, the economy that's why this game is so exciting at the end of the day. The economy on the CT side is so hard to manage. If you get, say for example, you could win 3 or 4 consecutive CT-sided rounds, and then all the teams would need to do is pick up one, and it could ruin your economy, but looks like that's not going to be happening right now. Flash will find the first, Spaz will be able to trade it, so the CTs won't be able to hold off Ursula Frayne from getting this bomb down. Alex very close, but it is all onto Hoopin and Spaz. But in this kind of round, when it was only the eco, they've done very well. But Hoopin will flash himself through, finding one. That's Alex going down, but he has a big task ahead now. No Kevlar, pushing him from all angles. And Why Always Me will pick up that round. But as I mentioned, in regards to the money now, because they got that bomb plan, Ursula Frayne, they will be able to buy healthily into the 4th round.
Mount Lawley doing very well towards the end there with that communication, seeing that start to creep into the game a little bit too, which is good to see.
So the full buy now coming through. 4 AKs on the side of Ursula Frayne. Spaz the AWP. We're picking that one up. No AWP on the side of Mount Lawley just yet. Flash holding onto that Galil. But as I mentioned, really, really important to try and stack up that money nice and early on the CT side. And ooh, Spaz will take some early damage from towards White Box there. I think that was Ty. Again, playing it extremely passive. I haven't seen any sort of rush tactic right now. They're leaving it to the bare sort of seconds in the round before aggressing sort of anywhere, but it seems to be paying off so far.
Are you seeing any early signs of leads between these two? I'm talking about the way that you're watching these two play against each other right now. Any one team doing in particular better than the other?
Look, at the start, it's obviously very hard to tell so early into the game. It'll all depend on if they do change up the pace. I believe Ursula Frayne, they obviously got the first round, but Mount Lawley were able to defend it with just the pistols. So that's a very good start for them. If they do manage to start to, pick up these rounds continually, it can almost snowball out of control.
Well, it will be interesting to see who is the one who fails to remain patient by the looks of these things.
Well, that's right. It is very different to play so slowly. They are sort of splitting up, and that allows Ty towards mid. He was the one that did the damage to Spaz, and oh my god, jumping up onto the white box there. We'll find another dinking Spaz earlier on in the round, but one thing that is really important is getting those trade frags on the terrorist side. Going as a unit as opposed to sort of splitting up. Early in the round, it's nice to try and find your picks, but it appears that Ursula Frayne right now just sort of almost walking into the crosshairs nice and slowly of Mount Lawley. But as I say that, the time is ticking and they will have to make their way towards the B-bomb site now. Flash taking down one, but will be flashed away. Matt J will be able to take down one more, and actually that's a 3K for Matt J. Very, very well done from him, but that would effectively leave him in a 1-on-5, and he has no time remaining. So 3K, a very valiant effort from the man, but unable to find any more and leaving it too late.
So just explain to us what happened there, because that was the first time we actually saw that both teams still had one person up, and yet Mount Lawley still picked up the win.
Correct, that's right. So the time ran out for Ursula Frayne. They weren't able to get to the site, and ultimately that leads to the counter-terrorist side victory. So it's either kill all, defend the site, or run out the time. And that's what I was mentioning before. Ursula Frayne right now. But whether it's caution, I'm not sure. Whether they're just respecting this Mount Lawley CSGO side. It's interesting that we haven't seen much really like heavy aggression to start off. So we've got a quick pause to come through. So yeah, what are your thoughts at the moment?
My thoughts at the moment is that actually it feels fairly balanced between these two teams. And like I mentioned before, I am looking forward to seeing which of these two teams neglects to maintain their composure, right? Because often when you see two teams sort of feeling each other out and having a lot of patience with the way that they time their runs and becoming quite aggressive or less so throughout the course of these particular matches, eventually what you end up seeing is that one particular team decides, no, I've had enough and I'm going to push in quite hard.
That's right.
And that can ultimately undo them.
We can already see that happening now. If you see, one of the huge things in the team is communicating your economy as well. The old force buy, the tilt buy, some people will call it. I doubt it would be a tilt buy this early into the game, but West has picked up a full purchase with the P90 and armor, meaning he has no money to take into the next round, which puts his team in a position where everyone else will be able to buy, but he will only be at a restricted, item of weaponry, which, when you've got one good gun against, not many, but as opposed to having, 5 rifles in the next round. So West making possibly poor decision, but no, I won't. I'm eating my words right now because Matt J did actually manage to find 2 there. And Spaz also will find one of his own. So the AWP that was saved into the previous has been put to good use so far. Ty and Why Always Me, the only last members of the CT side remaining. But still playing it very, very slow now. Looks like they will take their way out mid. And again, as I mentioned, moving as a unit, that's the way they're going to be able to execute correctly. And with that, they will be able to make their way in towards Z, I believe. All 4 of them. Interesting decision. But Why Always Me might not be able to find any, but he does. Just the one, but Spaz, a nice little quick scope there, will be able to secure the round. So very, very well played. That was a huge round by Matt J.
Mount Lawley still 1 game ahead over UFCC.
Yeah, see, look at what I mean, though. Mount Lawley basically secured 3 consecutive, but look at their weaponry now. They've barely been able to buy anything. Haunter is able to pick up that UMP as he's got some extra money, but in these positions, it's sort of called effectively what's an eco or a save, and you try and keep your money above that sort of $2,000 mark. But wow, he's me getting very aggressive, taking down 1. Ty will find another, and that's actually a second for him. Very well done. I think that was the aggression towards mid. Yes, it is, and now it leaves it all into Spaz and West. And West has actually picked up a P90, no armor here. He will be going down very, very quickly if he is not able to get the jump onto these CTs. Now, Haunter being boosted over towards mid.
Surprising, considering the money spent in that round?
Very surprising. It looks like, and we saw it in the second round of this game, obviously, Ursula Frayne picked up the first pistol, which usually would mean that you would pick up the remaining 2 due to the sort of state of the economy. But Mount Lawley were able to fight off with those pistols, and they've done really well, and they've done it exactly again. It's not the perfect buy for them, but they've been able to pick up 3 early frags and only losing 1 in flash. So the bomb is still towards mid. Haunter will make his way in now. West won't be able to find him, though. Haunter picks up another, and he's actually been able to retreat as well. They know exactly where the bomb is, and this will allow them to press in towards mid. And I think Spaz is a little bit out of his league here. He will be taken down by Alex. And there we go. A 4th round by Mount Lawley, and 4 members living on.
Just the wrong time to be walking around with a sniper rifle.
That's right. So, okay, so they are going to buy into this. So this is what I mean, the miscommunication with the purchases. Now, Hoopin hasn't bought anything whatsoever. He's saved, but the rest of his team have purchased up around it. Spaz has taken himself down to no money, and I think, no, Hoopin's actually run back and bought. So, but West has saved in a round where if he had have saved the previous, he would have had enough money to buy in with the remainder of his team here. So,
Gotcha.
And
so what do you do in that particular situation? Do you keep West back? Do you keep him just as a support player to play around the others?
Yeah, basically in this situation, but I would be, as his buddy old pals on the team, telling him to stop force buying.
Maybe he just wants to show off his Desert Eagle skin.
He might do. It is a very flashy weapon. Hitting those shots. We've seen Alex do some real good work with that nice and early in this game, but so 5 members of Ursula Frayne still living on. Again, playing it very, very passive.
Still waiting for this game to be broken wide open. We're into round 7, and yet it still doesn't feel like, regardless of the scores at the top there, any team has the upper hand.
No, it doesn't at all. And it has been a very, very slow-paced game, which was interesting because a lot of the players typically at this rank, their decision-making is a little bit more sporadic. So playing it a bit more passive and a bit more, spread out as opposed to just running blind is it's interesting to see. So now we do see Mount Lawley making their way out mid. Alex will be the first to find the frag there. And Why Always Me will pick up another. So although Ursula Frayne wasn't an advantage, they do bring it into a 3-on-3 to make that a 3-on-2 as Flash finds 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Very well held from Flash there up on towards the rafters position. And the A site will not be taken by Ursula Frayne. And here we go. Again, West. He's bought into it, but the rest of his team can't.
Important to note that... Oh, he's blinded himself. Important to note that if you are watching this, it is only one match of 30 rounds. So, Mount Lawley CSGO starting to look the goods. Being 3 ahead right now.
Okay. So Matt J has managed to actually pick up 1 nice and early in this round. So this is a full eco, effectively. They do have an AK, which I'm not exactly sure where it came from, but besides from that, they've only got the Glocks, and against a buy of this nature that Mount Lawley has, it is a very, very difficult round to win. Again, I'm surprised they're playing it so slow. Usually this is a situation where you would just try and move as a unit and get the bomb plant down, because that brings up your money by about 300 in each member of the team. So that's sort of a result that you'd like to see in an eco round. Get the bomb down, don't worry about that round, and just wait till the next where you can buy it fully. But again, still playing it relatively slow. The bomb is outside A main now, and that will be recovered, I believe. Yes, it will. Hoopin will pick that one up. And they do have one member in Spaz over towards B main, but still trying to feel out anything further. Again, leaving it till the wee seconds of the round before making any real move. And it looks like, here we go. Now this will be the aggression starting. I'm still so confused. Okay, here we go. The action will begin now. Flash will be the one to find 1 frag, and he will find a second as well. Very well done by him. Matt J putting that AK to good work. Has found a round, and we will even find a third here. This is a no Kevlar AK purchase against a complete eco. And Spaz may even find Haunter here. He does! Very, very well played by Ursula Frayne there. A round which was basically all Mount Lawley's to lose was picked up by the terrorist side with the full eco. And that by the AK, the faithful AK, did manage to pick up 3. And I got to admit, I'm very surprised we've seen what we are seeing right now. And
so am I. Just played very well. Played defensively.
That's right.
Round.
They did, yeah. They allowed, and when they finally made the decision to move on to the A site, they were able to trade the frags effectively. And ultimately, they were the victors with Matt J making his way up highway. So very well done by Ursula Frayne. Haunter will find 1, but Spaz missing the shot onto Ty. So,
just quickly, very important to note as well, if you've never watched a CSGO match through a spectator's lens, UFCC can't see what we're seeing.
Yes.
Right now. They can't see the blue outlines that you're seeing of Mount Lawley. That's just what we can see through the spectator's lens.
Unless they're cheating, which is hopefully not happening.
Or stream sniping.
That too. Oh, man. I tell you what, that is one of the worst things that I actually have to do is put on a delay on my stream.
Yeah.
Like, just the fact that, and the worst part is, it's even when I'm playing a certain type of game, which is basically like Division 2 level, where a lot of good players in Australia are playing, and still it happens. It's so disheartening is probably the good word to
disgusting.
Put it. Yes.
I would argue disgusting. 3 playing 5 here, still a full team for Mount Lawley.
Make that 4 now. Spaz will find 1, so a good entry onto this B bomb site. He will still up to take the AK, but Ty will find him. Alex there to find another as well. So Hoopin will be the man left all alone. They know exactly where he is in B main. Moving towards checkers now. He has so many angles to check, but he could almost make it to the site here. Both members, Why Always Me and Ty, in towards heaven. And Hoopin will find one. So all of a sudden this round's a 1-on-4 situation. Could almost be winnable here. Will spot out the shoulder of Ty. Will he find another? No, he will not. Alex landing the shot. Hoopin giving us a bit of a taste of what could have happened, but unfortunately the round will not be found. And that is a 6th round picked up by Mount Lawley.
I had a brief moment there. I had a brief moment. 'Cause I've seen it happen before.
You always do. You always really want them to win that situation every single time. But makes it entertaining nonetheless. So the money on the side of Ursula Frayne has been reset once more. And it looks like they will actually choose to eco here. So just some light pistols purchased.
Expect to see another defensive round here out of UFCC.
Could be a different change of pace now that we're seeing. They're actually going to run towards B. Here we go. Some action. A B rush. Haven't seen one just yet, but Haunter, 1, 2, and 3. A fantastic hold from the checkers position, and he'll even pick up a 4th with the USP as well. So the change of pace for Ursula Frayne does not pay off as a fantastic hold from Haunter. Means that Mount Lawley find their 7th.
Well, they gave it a shot. It was good to see a little bit of aggression, but obviously not having the opportunity. I think if you're gonna hold economy by the looks of things in a particular round, I think the way you got to do it is play defensively. Wait for them to come to you.
That's right, exactly.
You just don't have the firepower to take them on.
That's exactly right. And Mount Lawley have been playing it relatively passive. I think Ursula Frayne might have just got a little bit sick of waiting. But again, we will see it slowed down. So the rush not paying off. Now they're just going to try and find these picks. Ty has full mid control here. Jack Zhao is on the back of Boost, but not looking to find anything just yet. Alex, though, will find the first on the Spaz. Very well started in the round. So again, Mount Lawley with that early advantage on the CT side. Very, very important, but we still do have 2 orbs in play for Ursula Frayne. Right now, the bomb still not moving anywhere. Alex has done a good job of taking some main control here. So that should be able to give them the info that they're not coming A just yet. And they can chill for a little while longer. Where are we going to see them take this now? The bomb will be recovered. Making their way once more over to the A site. Matt J spraying and praying, hoping to find a frag through the wall there. It is a commonly wall-bangable spot, but it will not be found. And West here making a lot of sound, and he's just going to run out completely dry. How is he alive here? The man burning down. The Molotov will take him. Hoopin is able to trade the frag. So a 4-on-3 now, but it will be Flash picking up one, and the Molotov will take down another. And now it's all onto Hoopin. He's been so great all game, but the smoke, I don't think he'll be able to find any more, and Ty will pick him up, and that is an 8th round for Mount Lawley. And as you mentioned earlier, what were we going to see? And I said that if Mount Lawley were able to sort of consistently keep up those rounds, make sure their economy was built well, they were going to be the victors here. And it looks like at this stage, that's what we could be dealing with.
Again, just seeing a little bit of impatience from UFCC. I mean, to be heading into main point A, and to just fly out that door the way that he did, you just know that Mount Lawley's going to be sitting there waiting for you.
That's right. And
they seem to have a bit more patience at the moment.
For all watching as well who may not be privy to the game, sound is one of the most important factors in Counter-Strike. In that position, commonly what would have been preferred is to shift walk. So basically when you walk using shift, you don't make footstep sounds. So basically what West did there was he ran up aggressively, which allowed them to reposition knowing they were coming from the squeaky door. And ultimately they weren't able to find the bomb site. So very, very important to be cautious with the sound that you're making, commonly known as in the lower ranks as elephant feet. If you're parading around, making too much sound.
Brand new Dumbo movie's coming out this week, actually.
Is it actually?
Well, not out this week, but was announced this week, the new trailer.
Okay, okay.
Live action
Damn.
as well. Could be sponsored by CSGO.
Oh,
Great shot there by Spaz.
Spaz does find the earliest in the round. So, an eco coming through. We did see them win one in a previous round, and it will be looking like they will be taking their way over towards B, but Ty again from Heaven will find one. He's taken down to 39, but there's not really too much here to work with. Jack's out only with the Glock, along with Matt J. Hoopin does have the upgraded pistol, and he did do some serious work in the previous, but I don't think he will be able to find too much. Jack has recovered the M4, but Wyo is me will find one in towards the back of Checkers there. Now, it's all up to
Look at the way Mount
Hoopin and
Lawley's
Jack.
positioned themselves around this point. You know, they've got
I just realized they planted A. Big Brian. Very big Brian there. And now they don't even know where the rest of the team is. Okay, so effectively what happened was a fake there. They made the presence towards the B-bomb site, but ultimately they did have one player doing the sneaky beaky and making his way over to the A site, and it did work. So they got the bomb down. They've managed to salvage an M4 out of it as well, but so although Mount Lawley has picked up this round, it puts UFCC in a much better position to buy into this one.
I just going back to the point there, you know, just watching from the UFCC point of view, right, being able to see the silhouettes of Mount Lawley positioned around the map, around that point A, they just position themselves a lot better than UFCC are at the moment, especially when they're defending. You know, they have somebody overwatching, they have somebody around one corner, another one around another corner, just waiting, watching and communicating consistently.
That's right, they do seem to have a bit more structure effectively. And that is why they've managed to find themselves 9 rounds. And also, again, with the early pick, Spaz taken down. I didn't see exactly where that happened, but it was the AWPer, so he has gone down nice and early in this round. Flash will be taking another as well. That will be Matt J falling, and a nice little shot from Ty as well. The dink coming through onto him, but he will live to see another day. Jack Zhao peeking through, and Ty very well held from the mid position here. That is a big 3K for him, and now it's all onto West in a 1-on-5 situation, and I think that could be all she wrote for the remainder of the half. Mount Lawley really looking solid here to take a 12-3 half. So right now, the decision should be made by West, who effectively what he's doing here is trying to save the weapon. Wants to be able to take it into the next round because their money's not going to be great. They do have a max loss bonus, meaning that most of them should be able to buy, but unfortunately he is unable to save as he misses the shot. But why always me and his teammate moving as a unit. Even if West was able to find that shot there, they likely would have traded the frag.
How do you save that weapon going into the next round? How does that work?
So effectively, you just try to hold on to it until the time ticks down, and ultimately, if you do manage to keep it in your hands and without dying, you will be able to take it over into the next round with you.
Right.
So that is a preferred decision. A lot of the time in top tier CS, you'll see teams that might have almost 3 or 4 players alive, but they are in such an awkward position to try and retake the site that they might even just call for a save because they know that they've probably got a better chance in the next round. And yeah, again, the most important thing on the terrorist side is to move as a unit, and unfortunately, we aren't seeing it from Ursula, Frayne, Mount Lawley looking very, very good. Alex with a 2K, Ty with another, and West last alive again. We'll manage to find one here, but it will be Why Always Me picking him up, and an 11th round for Mount Lawley. They are looking very, very good to take this game.
Again, positioning on the map from Mount Lawley, just doing a beautiful job of covering every base, but covering each other in the process.
And it's the confidence that you can see now. They've got that round lead. They can afford to lose a few. So they're pushing in. They're getting a little bit more aggressive, taking that typical control, which CTs usually play a bit more passive. It's more waiting for the aggression from the terrorist side because they need to get to the side. They need to plant the bomb. But when you're so far ahead on the CT side, you start pushing. You start doing whatever the hell you want. And Mount Lawley right now, we can see that they're feeling very comfortable. And they know they've got this one in the bag. So they're going to continue. And here we see it. Haunter, as I mentioned, pushing through his own smoke, not finding the frag. He will live to see another day falling back into checkers. Now, the bomb will be recovered, making its way over towards the B site once more. And they will move back. Ty again, finding that opening frag. He has been a crucial player here, 16 and 8 from the big man. And he'll even flash into B main, but not checking. Oh, West. That is a hard rip right there, and Ty full control of the sunroom position here, and he is just smurfing right now. The frags have been found, and a 12-3 half for Mount Lawley.
That's an incredibly brilliant half from Mount Lawley there. UFCC just not having the goods to go around with them this time around. We've got another half coming up, obviously. But the way that I see UFCC getting back into this match is to play that defensive style that they did when they took those 3 games that they have done. You know, they do a lot better when they actually play a lot closer to each other rather than spreading out throughout the map. And playing that sort of style where they wait for Mount Lawley to get a little bit impatient and actually make those aggressive plays. That's when they were actually able to take those rounds. But I don't know whether or not that's going to happen here in this next half.
No, that's right, and they do have to give their take on the counter-terrorist side now, the defending half. So there is an opportunity. Cash is one of those maps that can be quite city-sided, and Hoopin will start off very well, finding 2 and 3. It will be taken down by Ty ultimately, and Haunter is able to trade it accordingly. So 2 on 3, make that a 1 on 3, and Ty, he's been fantastic all game, but unable to do it. And Hoopin, very well done by him with the big 3K hold from the B side.
Good start for UFCC in this second half. They want a few more of those.
That's exactly right. Now, this is what I mentioned in the previous. So last time we saw actually, was it Mount Lawley or UFCC? I can't remember now. I think it was UFCC. They picked up the pistol in the previous first half of the game. But what happened was, see the weaponry that comes out from Mount Lawley now. Typically, if you don't get the bomb down, you force into the second round of the half. Now, they picked up the CZs and the Deagles as opposed to the full weaponry kit that UFCC has. So they've got a Scout, a few SMGs to work with. Last time, Mount Lawley were actually the one to pick up this round, and that can basically be a big thrower. Usually when you win the pistol, you are almost tipped to win the next 2 rounds after that.
Okay.
So UFCC, if they hold and they play the cards right, they might be able to do something correctly, and Matt J opens up accordingly. Spaz won't be able to find Flash. He will be taken down, and looks like, wow, is me missing some crucial shots there, but Matt J not checking it. Alex will find another, and now it's all onto Jack, West, and Hoopin. Hoopin's been playing some great CS today, but oh my, nice little shot there from Jack. The bomb will not go down just yet. Now tapping away, West will be able to recover, and Hoopin will take down Haunter. Now it's all left onto Why Always Me. Still a winnable round. Does have the Deagle and some Kevlar.
He has to peek here.
Has to find a nice shot, but not just yet. So
He's got 2 on 1. He's just got to play it a little bit more carefully here. Just let them come to him.
And he doesn't have the bomb either. That is dropped on the bomb site. Jack Zhao was able to kill the planter. So really, we just need to play nice and patiently here. Wow, he's been not hitting that headshot. Very, very close. No cigar. But right now, UFCC, they just don't need a peek. But they do anyway, because why not? It's got me sweating, but...
It had me sweating too, because, again, I feel like even though they took that round, and you would think they would go on to take this one as well, UFCC just felt like there was just, again, a little bit of a lack of communication there.
Very much
You
so.
were 2-1 up. You had a great opportunity there to flank either side of that position, and it just wasn't happening. They could have taken that earlier than what they did.
That's right. And with the bomb being down on the side, we've got some action going on here, which Spaz getting very aggressive with their lead here. Not able to find the first, but Matt J will trade it accordingly, and that will be a second for him, holding from quad, and a third. Very well done. Matt J running low on bullets will be taken down by Alex, who has recovered that Famis, and he will be able to get the bomb down, but a very tough position here for Mount Lawley. They will have to hold off against 3 healthy players of UFCC. The boost looking to come through on towards quad, but it will not be found in West.
It was never going to happen.
It was not going to happen there, but they did manage to get the bomb plant here, so Mount Lawley is going to be looking at a very, very healthy buy into the 19th round.
Fantastic work to, well, in a way, sort of save that. But, yeah, that position, you've got yourself holed up into a corner. You're being flanked by 3 opposition players, and they've still got all of the frags that they can throw at you. It's going to be very hard to hold that off. But UFCC looking delightful, clawing this back a little bit. Taking the first 3 in this round.
Yeah, definitely making it entertaining. I don't really like one-sided CS, so it seems good that Ursula Frayne are bringing their way back into this one. So, well played by them. They found the first 3 on the pistol. Now it's just a matter of them trying to hold this one off. So, we're taking a quick pause, and we're going to come over to our ugly mugs.
It's, we saw just there in the chat that apparently Dude has to do Dude things.
Ah.
Not 100% sure what that actually means. Don't really want to go any deeper into what that means. So, Conky, how are you seeing this match playing out so far?
Look, I think, again, as I mentioned, obviously, when you pick up the pistol side, the pistol round, you usually will find those next 2. So if Ursula Frayne aren't able to hold off in this first full buy round where Mount Lawley will be firing back, I think it could very easily fall into the hands of Mount Lawley. So.
All right, we're back into the match now. If you just join us, twitch.tv/Flaktest, the unpause happening. Mount Lawley, as we mentioned, we've switched now because we're into the second half of this match. In the gold to your left and UFCC to your right in the blue.
And Ty will be the opener, finding the first. He's been so fantastic towards the position. He'll even find a second here. Very well done. Now Spaz holding from quad. He is the lone soldier over towards this A-bomb site now, and the bomb will be heading over there. Spaz will cop some damage as well, giving up his position. West will find one, but YOT will be able to trade it out, and that is Flash finding one as well. Alex putting the nail in the coffin, and it almost seemed too easy just then for Mount Lawley.
Almost seemed too easy. Was too easy.
Was too easy.
Beautifully done with the grenade there as well with that throw. Just to push him out a little bit, throw on a little bit of splash damage, and then finish it off nicely.
But now we look at the weaponry. This is the thing. Although we saw 3 consecutive 1 rounds for Ursula Frayne, look at their weapons. This is all they can afford. So the counter-terrorist side economy is very, very tough to work with. And on a map like Cache, it's interesting as well, because it is one of those maps where it can be, it really just, at the end of the day, the T side goes to whoever is the better aimer, group of aimers on the day, and it looks like Mount Lawley are exactly that. So 3 frags found already, not a single point of damage taken by Mount Lawley. Hoopen will be looking to find Ty here, but you can just see the confidence now, right now. Mount Lawley, they don't give a damn. They're just going to move as they please. And Spaz now will make his way up towards Truck, peeking CT, but they have spotted him, and a nice shot from Ty. This man looking real good right now.
Yep.
23 and 12.
Very cleanly taken as well. The only one to take any damage in that round was Ty. But this is the sort of thing where I just want UFCC to not... I don't want them to play aggressive. I know they're behind in terms of their weaponry, particularly on that round that we just saw. But in that sort of situation, you know, take the 3 wins that you've already gotten and pull back a little bit. Play a little bit more defensive. See if you can draw them out.
That's right. But for the moment, it just feels like Mount Lawley, with that confidence, they're able to just sort of walk all over UFCC, and we find it now. Hooper, no, he actually does catch Alex. So the aggression coming through from Mount Lawley does not pay off just yet, as now it drops down to a 5-on-4. They will be making their way through, and ooh, a nice little shot from Haunter there, finding West. Ty has already found his way onto the side. Almost the 1 HP dream. He will live on to see another day, and that is the site being taken by Mount Lawley, and this could very well bring them to a 15th and West. We see a very good retake come through from UFCC, but no, it will be Ty finding one more onto Matt J. Jack Zhao will be able to even it just a little bit, but Ty! No, it was actually me that found that, but the shots still found Ty. Although he has 1 point of HP, he still can go in as confidently as he so chooses, and it must be all in the weed camo, but Spaz.
Oh, wow. That was a very balanced round. I had no idea who was going to take that round in the end there. But Mount Lawley picking it up. That was a beautiful piece of play between both teams there.
Yeah, it was. And they almost found it, but close, but no cigar. And now we see it. Mount Lawley move up to match point. They've got 15. And I don't see them stopping anytime soon. They have not lost a round since they've had their first bye. And we look at the weaponry of UFCC. Not that great, but Spaz.
Wow, Spaz, give him a hug.
Give him a hug indeed. It makes its way through. Matt J will find another. Ty, he's able to trade it, but... And that's actually 2 frags found for Ty. Again, the crucial positioning from him mid. He's just been able to find these frags time after time. He will be taken down by West, meaning that UFCC will be put in an advantage, but the Kobe Bryant coming through from Flash will take him down. The old swish that I've seen in the background. And leaves it all onto Alex and Flash here. West and Hoopen need to just hold as firmly as they can here. West has got the bomb dropped in mid. They will look to be boosting up here. Will it be the AWP in Flash? Or will it be the AK in Alex? It will be the AK. Now making his way over towards the top of boost here. Just trying to check every single angle. Knows that West is over towards sandbags. He does have a Molotov to keep him at bay. And he will... Yep, he's been called. The team has said, use your molly, Alex. And he will do that. And West will go down. This is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Ty and Flash. That will actually be the wallbang coming into Z. And Mount Lawley CSGO, the 16-6 victory. UFCC, they put up a bit of a fight at the start of that second half, but unfortunately unable to find the further rounds.
And I'll tell you what, Ty didn't appear to be looking happy either. The second that it appeared that Mount Lawley that flashed up that Mount Lawley had actually taken that match. He was gone, disconnected. He was out. It was like he had
console
his
quit straight away.
Exactly, had his fingers on the escape key. Well, that'll do it for this match. Mount Lawley versus Ursula Frayne. Mount Lawley taking that out. And I would say, as well as we saw some really balanced plays there from Ursula Frayne, it was Mount Lawley's match pretty early on.
That's right, exactly. They didn't really show any sort of wavering. The only frags that were found on the round, were very early on in the piece by Ursula Frayne. They weren't able to hold Mount Lawley at bay effectively. Their aggression was just too much for them in the end. And whilst they did pick up the pistol a few more, the comeback looked like it was a possibility. It just didn't happen. And they just looked, again, as you mentioned, a little bit disjointed. They maybe not the best communication going on there. So that's probably what Mount Lawley had in the upper hand.
What did you want to see from Ursula Frayne to see them essentially bring it back? How could they have brought that back against Mount Lawley?
Look, it's very tough in these kind of situations. When the terror side is so confident with their aim, it can almost be impossible to hold back an attack. They might have been able to play a little bit more like a 2 versus 1 sort of situation, so maybe group up on the sites as opposed to sort of playing very much like 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. So that could have been a change, but again, I really don't think there was much they could do when the steam train of Mount Lawley hit.
It was the steam train. We saw it and it was stoked. Well done, guys. Mount Lawley taking out that match over Ursula Frayne. It's been an absolute pleasure having you once again, Conky.
As always, mate.
Thank you. Where are we going to see you this week if we want to catch some of your casting? Are you going to be on Twitch?
I will be, yeah. So I should be doing some of the Cybergamer Premier season this week. Most likely I'll be doing their B stream as usual, and then I'll be doing some ESEA Mountain Dew League, which is the top level of CS in Australia, along with Cybergamer Pro. And in regards to LAN appearances for me, I've actually booked another one. So I'll be off doing the Cybergamer Pro LAN in Adelaide in July, I believe it is. And then hopefully you guys will see me at Gfinity in hopefully next week, but we'll see.
Very much looking forward to seeing you doing CSGO for Gfinity Elite Series. That'll just about do it for us at twitch.tv/Flaktest. We appreciate your company. Thank you so much for joining us for this Flaktest weekly match. It's been so much fun. It's always great to see some great CSGO being played. We've got plenty more to come. Now, here's what's happening on twitch.tv/Flaktest for the featured rounds of the week for the next 3 weeks. As this is round 7, and that's done and dusted. Tomorrow from 10 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time, which means midday if you're on the East Coast, and then somewhere in between if you're smack bang in the middle of Australia, you're going to see round 7 of the Flaktest Weekly Patch, which is our weekly TV show, which you'll be able to see a recap of this match if you want to have a look, plus some news from the week that we'll be presenting, as well as your chat with myself about what it takes to be a pro caster in Australia if you're looking to go down that path. And also, we'll be talking about the Gfinity Elite Series, what it's all about, and your tips to who's going to ultimately take it out at the end of the 7 weeks of play. The other thing going on is this week is Hearthstone 1v1. For those of you who don't know and are Flaktest registered esports high school clubs, you can join our community events for free. There are prizes as well. This weekend is Hearthstone 1v1. The next one is going to be our Independence Day special. It's StarCraft 2. Okay, so if you've got StarCraft players who think they can take it to the top within the high school esports community, please get registered at flaktest.com/season 2018. And for those of you who are already registered, you can register at the Play portal. You know where to go for that. If there's anything else, I would say just make sure you're across Facebook, you're across Twitch, you're across YouTube. And for those of you who have been really hammering it, not just in your matches being successful there, but also as great esports clubs in general, keep an ear out, all right? We're looking for you. We've got 3 more Flaktest weekly matches to play, and the featured matches will be picked from those crops. So we've got CSGO to come, we've got a Rocket League match to come, and we've got Overwatch to come as well. Thank you so much. It's been great having you here, and we will catch you, if not tomorrow, then next week on twitch.tv/Flaktest, right here that you're watching, at midday AWST, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard, somewhere in between for everything else. Catch you then.
See you guys.
Well, Jay, that does it for another episode of the Flaktest Weekly Patch. This has been round 7, and thank you so much for watching us across everything Flaktest, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, the whole thing. We've got big rounds coming up.
Oh, Pete. And getting close to that grand final, too.
Yes, very close. So we're obviously heading towards the business end of the season. It is a 10-week season, rounds 8, 9, and 10 on the way, and the feature matches are going to be specially picked teams, the ones who have been really performing, not just in their matches, but also as clubs as well, the real professional outfits of the Flaktest registered clubs this season. So we've got some amazing stuff coming your way. Rocket League, more CSGO, and of course Overwatch as we march towards the finals, and of course the championship matches as well. Really quickly, just on that, okay? This is very, very important. June 30 is fast approaching. If you still have any outstanding matches that are unplayed by the time June 30 arrives, you will concede those matches. So if you are a captain of any high school esports club and team that are still yet to play out your matches with others from the league, make sure you get in touch with those other captains, play those matches out before June 30, or else you will concede and so will they. And hey, if you are one match out from playing the finals, that is not a concession you want to have.
Absolutely not. But Pete, happening right now as we speak is our Hearthstone community event. It's a 1v1 event, the results of which will be out later this week. Oh, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Oh. Pete, Jimmy's our Flaktest cat.
Yeah, he's our mascot.
He's our mascot.
Yeah,
We love Jimmy.
yeah.
Pete, coming up for our next community event.
Yeah,
is a
by the
cool
way,
one.
sorry, these
Yeah.
are free to play. Okay?
Oh, yeah, of
if you're a
course,
Flaktest
absolutely.
registered high school esports club, you can enter these for free.
Yeah, and if you want to sign up, you can go to flaktest.com. If you are already a club, play.flaktest.com is where you can sign up for all of their community events. The next one coming up, Pete, is in July. It's going to be a StarCraft event. It just so happens the date, I think, will be it'll be the 4th of July.
The 4th of July?
Yeah, so in a completely original idea, we are calling it Independence Day.
Wow, what a great, completely original idea.
Never been used anywhere before.
So like StarCraft aliens and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like aliens, and it'll be like the aliens are like attacking like Earth, and this is our fight for independence.
Man, the way you come up with things, it just blows my mind.
No, well, it's not hard.
Far out.
Look, Pete, that does bring us to the end of the show. But if you do, just going back, if you do want to sign up, go to play.flaktest.com. Information for that will be up pretty soon.
Thanks for watching us across wherever it is that you're watching us, whether it be Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. We look forward to your company next week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you 12 o'clock for the next live match, featured match of the week, next Saturday on twitch.tv/Flaktest.
See ya.
Bye.